welcome to Ultra Low Brewing. We've had a few requests lately on how do I make an ultra low kit and kilo brew. Well, basically I don't add the kilo of sugar, I add 15 litres of NEM grains instead. Now NEM is non-enzymatic mashing or cold mashing, so that can be a number of different grains depending on your brew, depending on what you want to do. Today I used a kilo of oats and half kilo of instant rice, and we're going to add that to a lager kit. Basically by diluting the normal lager kit with an extra 15 litres of NEM, that'll give us the mouthfeel we want, give us a little bit more colour, a little bit more flavour, but at the same time diluting a normal lager kit. So here's my NEM bucket. Mine's a bit modified. I've got a USB pump in the bottom, which goes through this tube and sparges. That way I can do a NEM brew in 5 degrees Celsius water in a couple of hours rather than leaving it in the fridge overnight. Today for our lager, we are going to add 500 grams of instant rice and a kilo of quick oats. We've got our brew in a bag, spoon. Put this in the NEM bucket. Just rip the rice, chuck it straight in. Hopefully not too much mess. I'll have to break it up a bit in a sec. Add my oats. Give it a good stir, break it all up. That rice will be a bit clumpy, so just try and separate all of that. Yeah, just want it to all be loose. Once that's all stirred in, we literally just put this bucket in the fridge, leave it overnight, and we do the rest tomorrow. One other thing I like to do with the brew in a bag is just lift the sides up, use one of these little clamps, and just hook the loops up the top. Otherwise you'll find that the water goes through the bag and the capillary action literally just leaks it out all over the place. A little clamp, keep it up like that, she's all good. Now you might have noticed I've got a metal shelf in here. A lot of fridges have got glass shelves, but with 15 litres of water in here, plus all the grains, it becomes pretty heavy, and I just don't trust the glass shelves. I've just taken the NEM brew out of the fridge. It's been in there overnight. And what we've left with is a slightly viscous, slightly opaque mixture with a little bit of colour, a little bit of aroma, but mainly to add mouthfeel back to our diluted lager kit without all the complex sugars. So the last thing we'll do with our NEM batch is give it a mash rest at 77 degrees for 30 minutes. That'll clean up any unconverted starches that are floating around and reduce the grainy, starchy flavour that we definitely don't want in our lager. Now after we've racked off into our kettle or pot, I want to show you what's left in the NEM bucket. Now this is what we do not want in our brew. This is the leftover starches and bits and pieces off the grains, but if we could put this into our brew, we'll end up with a grainy flavour and a floury texture. Definitely not something we want in a lager. You see the bottom of the bucket. We definitely do not want that. Now that the NEM's been mashing away for half an hour, we're going to add the rest of our kit. This one's just a Woolworths lager kit, cost about $10. Labels come off because I've added it in hot water just to loosen it up a bit. Now I add this straight to my kettle and I mix it that way. I just find it easier. You may have your own techniques, whether it's putting it straight in your fermenter or into your pot or whatever, but I'm just going to put it straight in here. And in she goes, trying not to make a sticky, gooey mess. Oh. I got a bit of splash back, but overall it wasn't too bad, wasn't too messy. Now this is all mixing up. This is when I add my 23 litres of water that the kit originally wanted. I just add it now and just wait for it to mix up. Turn my water on, turn my heating elements off, and let this mix for a while and get to temp. This is where things get a bit tricky. I've only got a 35 litre Rosella and a 35 litre fermenter. So what I do, I just add half to the fermenter, then I add the other couple of litres of water, and then I do the same with the kettle, and I bring this back up to 85 degrees and then I hot cube it and ferment it later. But you might want to do whatever works for your system, maybe start with half kit in the first place or do the same as me or whatever. But it's all about experimenting, having fun, and brewing beer. Now that my fermenter's got 19 litres of water in it, we get my yeast ready. I'm using a Saflager S189. I recommend not using the yeast that comes with a kit and kilo kit unless it's a decent kit, but the Woolworths one's not a decent kit. So I'll wait till this drops down to 22 degrees and then I'll pitch my yeast, put it in my fermentation chamber, and continue the video in a couple of weeks. And here we have our final product with an OG of 1014 and an FG of 1006. Gives us a 1% lager. Nice and clear, nice head. And it's nice, clean, dry tasting lager. It's good.